is Alfonsa Novita Sari. Electronic media is a medium that uses electronic or electronical energy for end user to access its content. This term is contrast to static media, especially print media which although often guaranteed electronically do not record it electronic to be executed by end user. Sources of electronic media that are familiar to common users include video recording, audio recording, multimedia presentation, and online content. Electronic media can be analog or digital atau new media or genre digital. Next, the scope of electronic media. Electronic media has a large and broad role as a means of conveying information and as a means of communication. His role is large and wide, placing his possession so important and needed by humans. His life, even its development in Indonesia electronic media, is no longer a secondary need but a primary need. Internet, TV, and radio are almost evenly distributed throughout the development of the order of the people life is increasingly complex and the growth is increasingly rapid as a result of advances in science and technology, especially communication and information technology, recording consideration of religious development as the foundation of life. Electronic media in the form of higher quality and professional religious broadcast it in accordance with the demands of the globalization area. Next, history of electronic media. 1. Radio. Radio is technology used for transmitting signal by means of modulation and electromagnetic radiation, electromagnetic phase, and for the RN can also provide talk speed that is empty for air because these waves do not record it and transport mediums such as air molecule. The history of radio is the history technology. The produce radio equipment that use radio wave. Initially, the signal in radio broadcast is transmission media contains that wave either by amplitude modulation AM or by frequency modulation FM. This method of sending signal is called analog. Okay, next, B characteristic of electronic media. 1. Online media is free. 2. Safe and accessible. 3. Fast. 4. Interactive. Next,
Hello everybody, my name is Natalia Yola. So I will continue our material today about the types of electronic media. Types of electronic media coverage. A new program is a program containing news or important information and considered necessary for the public to know, or information that has a topic of interest to the public. News programs are in two types. The first hard news or heavy news and soft news or light news. The first, what is hard news? Hard news is typically used to refer to topics that are easily timely, important, and controversial, such as politics, international affairs, and business news. Secondly, what is soft news? Soft news is news easily less important but often attracts more audience. Human interest story of crime and comedy fall more the more to emotion than to intellect. It readers and it may be a gossip about celebrities, technology, and lifestyle news. How does electronic media news livelihood is generated? Techniques to obtain news are interview, observation, literature research, press release or press conference, and statement of information. So, how to step to get news? The first, direct observation. Each journalist gather fact by directly observing the event the news to life. Secondly, free event. It getting information to develop is the main journalist should also take a multi-source approach so as to give credibility to the reported news. Thirdly, interview are basic for all good coverage and writing. Its main interview report who determine direction of the question, not the interviews. Fourth, search or research material through public documents. That journalists can dig up news material from the research through public documents. Fifth, participation. This one technique journalists are involved in the ongoing events. And sixth, bid system. If the journalist actually with or force government agency to cover activity in the agency. Next, data processing is in a computer electronic data processing or ADV. Data can be numbers, letters, facial symbol, or combination of them. Data processing cycle has three basic steps called the data processing cycle: input, processing, and output. Expanded data processing cycle can be any three or more steps such as origination, store, and distribution. Origination is process of collecting data, which is the process of recording data. Input is process of entering data into the computer. Processing is process of processing of data that has been entered down to be processing device. And output is process of producing output from result of data processed to the output tool or output device. Distribution is process of distribution of output to the rightful party and requires information. Strength this process is process the recording the result of process to the outer string.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad, Rizki, Antoni. Okay, writing news for electronic media in a hard news breaking news section, and the most important writing is in the beginning known as lead. A good lead needs to be able to quickly give the reader an idea of what's going on. As you go down, the writing becomes insignificant. In other words, the key elements shall be found at the beginning. This principle is known as the inverted pyramid principle. Why should it be upside down? Because hard news is all about speed. Not everyone has time to read all the ratings. Therefore, the lead serves as a window that help the reader decide whether to continue reading the story or simply knowing the key information. Basically, news in both print and electronic media must meet the basic principle of news writing, which contains 5W plus 1 high element. However, there are differences in writing method between the two types of media. In print media, the requirements for completing news are more stringent than in electronic online media. This demand is due to the limited publication time of print media compared to electronic online media. Generally, print media are published as early as once a day. In some countries, there are print media that are published twice a day. This long span of time brings a weakness that must be covered. namely that the news in the print media must be more in-depth and complete than the electronic media. On the other hand, because the publication time of electronic media is not limited, that does not really matter. For news in electronic online media, in main consideration is the speed of updating, namely report on news development from time to time, to time in short period of time. Okay, thank you.